In this week's issue of People, former iCarly star Jennette McCurdy is opening up about her one-woman dark comedy show, I'm Glad My Mom Died. The show details the intense physical and emotional abuse the star endured at the hands of her mother, Debbie, who died of cancer in 2013. McCurdy tells People that even though the show might raise some eyebrows, there's a fullness to the narrative. McCurdy shares that despite her success on television, her life at home was far from perfect, saying, "My earliest memories of childhood were of heaviness and chaos. She claims that her mother's emotions were so erratic that it was like walking a tightrope every day. She also says that as a young child, she would witness physical fighting between her mother and her father, Mark, recalling that her mother's outbursts often turned violent. McCurdy says that when she turned 6 years old, her mother became fixated on her, explaining that Debbie had always dreamt of being a famous actor, so she became obsessed with making her only daughter a star. McCurdy explains that she always felt like her job was to keep the peace and make her mom happy. The actress goes on to say that by the age of 11, her mother was bleaching her hair, whitening her teeth, and had introduced her to calorie counting. And by the time McCurdy landed the role in iCarly, she was suffering from full-fledged anorexia, which she says later swung to binge eating and then bulimia. She also claims that until she was 17 years old, her mother insisted on performing vaginal and breast exams and never let her daughter shower alone. McCurdy says, "I know if my mom were alive, I'd still have an eating disorder." The actress also reveals that for years she rebelled by having sex and experimenting with alcohol until she finally made some drastic changes. She recovered in 2018 thanks to intense therapy and says that it was only distance from her mother that allowed her to get healthy. She says, quote, "I did not know how to find my identity without my mom. I'm not going to lie, it was very hard to get here, but now I'm at a place in my life that I never would have thought was possible, and I finally feel free."